Hello book lovers and welcome back or welcome to Nat Cat's Bookish Cafe. I am here to start my third weekly vlog for my Orilium series. Alright guys, so it is April, so we are in our spring equinox for the Orilium readathon, and I am just documenting that through weekly vlogs. Now I will say I do have some books on my monthly TBR that are not related to Orilium. In fact, two of the books that I'm currently reading are not even related to Orilium whatsoever, but that is fine. In this intro, which is on a Monday, the last 2 weeks I have not updated on a Monday. I had to wait until Tuesday because of other things that were going on, but here we are on a Monday. It is my first break of the day, a little after at 10 o'clock, and I just want to kind of let you know what I will be working on in this vlog. I am kind of moving forward as if you guys have watched the other vlogs, so I'm not going to give you my thoughts on the books up to this point. I will of course have the previous vlogs linked up above and down below if you would like to check that out. As far as my audiobook goes, I am currently reading There Is No Way That I Would Die First, or that I'm dying first. There's no way I'm dying first. I think that's what it's called, by Lisa Springer, and I am 37% through that book right now. I'm not sure if I'll read any of that day. Tomorrow is my cardio day at the gym, so I should definitely at least get some done tomorrow, if not today. As far as physical books go, I haven't done any reading at all today. It was a very slow morning. I had trouble getting out of bed. I was just snug as a bug in a rug, and so I didn't get up in time to really do any reading this morning. So I am still on page 50 of Bloom. This is my current read. It was a very quick read, so I'm hoping to finish this in like a day or two because it's, you know, a teeny tiny book. I am enjoying it, not like obsessed with it like some other people were, but I am intrigued to see where it goes. And then once I finish that, I will be returning to Beautiful Boy, which I've kind of been reading like 50 pages, then reading something else, and then reading 50 pages of this. This is a very difficult book to read. It's a memoir, it's nonfiction. It's written by a father who is watching his son fall victim to a drug addiction. So it's definitely not something that I can binge read just because mentally it is very draining to read this, but I am enjoying it. So I will probably try to read another 50 pages of this once I finish Bloom, and then we will decide what my next book is after that. As far as this week goes, non-reading wise, my mother is returning from Germany on Thursday, so I took Thursday and Friday off. I will be picking her up from the airport with my dad, and I'm not sure if my sister is coming down this weekend. My mom's birthday technically came and went while she was in Germany, so I'm not sure if we will celebrate it this weekend or if we want to wait a little while she readjusts to the time change, because there's like a 9-hour difference between here and Germany, so it's definitely a bit of a rough transition for sure. So that is just some stuff that's going on, but otherwise I'll just be going to the work, doing stuff around the house, making sure the house is all set up for my mom. I think for the most part, it's pretty good. This weekend, I vacuumed and mopped the floors and took down the Easter decorations. So it's mostly set and ready for her to arrive. We're super excited to have her back with us. But obviously, if I'm spending more time with my family, then I may be reading a little less, but I will of course keep you up to date on what I am and am not doing. So that is my update, a relatively quick update. I'm very proud of myself for actually doing a quick update. Usually I'm like, quick update, and then it's like at least a 10-minute clip. So the fact that it's only like under 6 minutes is like, thumbs up, Natalie. So I will go ahead and check in with you either later today or tomorrow to keep you up to date with Bloom and anything else that is going on.
If I could tell you, I don't think you'd believe how long I felt this way. I'm begging you to stay. And if I could show you, I'd hope that you could see all the possibilities. There could be a place for you and me. And under the stars, you pack up your car, 'cause you're going far away from here. I wish I could stall, but I never call. And you're going all the way this year. If I could tell you, I don't think you'd believe how long I felt this way. I'm begging you to stay. And if I could show.
Guys, so it is Tuesday morning. I figured I'd check in with you because I can't log into work right now because my Wi-Fi is down. So I just reset it, but that can take a few minutes. Fingers crossed that it works because I don't feel like taking time off, and I also don't feel like driving into the office for one of their little satellite locations that you can go to if you're having issues like I'm having right now. Yesterday my dad was working on some electrical stuff outside, so we were kind of like messing with the breakers out in the garage, and that may have caused the Wi-Fi to kind of get a little funky, so hopefully it all works out. But I am on page, let's see, 114 of Bloom right now. I focused a lot on editing last week's vlog yesterday, so I didn't do too much reading, but I did a little reading this morning, and things are definitely starting to get a little bit odd. I mean, I feel like I'm not creeped out or anything like that. Like, there's a part of me that acknowledges that some of the stuff that's happening should be making you uncomfortable. And there was one scene that was an animal death that was rather violent, I guess you could say. So that was definitely an uncomfortable situation. But other than that, this book isn't evoking too much emotion in me, which is a bit of a bummer because I definitely feel that it should be. I think the strongest part of this book is definitely the writing. I really enjoy the descriptors, the way that the author writes. So that is the best part of the book. I feel like I'm just not overly connected to the character. And so when the potential for bad things to happen to her are revealed, I'm just don't care too much, which is not how it should be with a book like this, because you definitely want to be reading this and feeling nervous and paranoid and uncertain, and those are just things that I'm not currently feeling. So I'm mostly reading this for the writing, which is very beautiful, and I am intrigued to see where it does end up. I just feel like the road to the end is not the most interesting. So right now it is kind of sitting at like a 3.5, which, considering this is some people's favorite book of the year, is definitely a bit of a bummer, but we will see. I mean, I would say we are pretty much like halfway through it, so we'll see how the second half of this book goes. I think I listened to a little bit of my audiobook yesterday, but not too much where I have a lot more to say on it. So I just wanted to come check in with you real quick while I wait for my Wi-Fi to reconnect. I'll go ahead and see if that has happened so I can log into work, and I will check in with you either later today, because I am going to go to the gym where I'll be listening to quite a bit of my audiobook, or tomorrow. I want to give you a quick quote from this book just to give you a little taste of the writing that I'm enjoying, even if the story is so-so. Suddenly shy, Ro can only stare at their hands, even though she knows Ash is looking at her and wants her to look back. There's a gravity to this, to them, that she hasn't experienced before. A realness, a vulnerability, a question. With guys, there was an unspoken understanding that they were out for sex and would push and needle and nudge for every inch of skin they could conquer. Even the shy ones, Even the sweet ones wanted something of her that she wasn't always willing to give, but knew was expected of her. It was like constantly ceding land to a country with a more powerful army. She always knew she would be left with less than she originally possessed.
I'd hope that you could see all the possibilities. There could be a place for you and me. I feel 100 degrees when you call my name, and I don't know what you see. Hope we feel the same. I feel 100 degrees.
We said that big, but we're smaller than small. In the scheme of things, we're nothing at all. Remember this child sings a lonely song, so play with me, play with me. Dad, here's a riddle for you. Got the answer. There's a reason for the world to die. Between 10 and 20, and I'm just dreaming, counting the ways to where you are. I'm 22 for a moment. She feels better than ever. We're all fine, making our way back from Mars. In 15, there's still time for you. Time to buy, time to lose. 15, there's never a wish better than this. When you only got 100 years to live.
And I don't know what you see. Hope we feel the same.
Guys, so it is Thursday. I had today off because we are going to pick my mom up from the airport. Her flight wasn't supposed to come in until 3, and it seems like it is about 30 to 40 minutes behind schedule at this point. So we are just kind of getting the house ready. I did some filming earlier today, and I just wanted to update you because I finally finished Bloom. It took a little bit longer than I wanted it to, especially because I finished the first 50 pages so quickly. I thought I was like, oh, I will finish this like in a day or two, but no, but that's okay. Since I just finished it, I'm a little bit uncertain about the rating that I want to give it, because I will say for the majority of the book I wasn't super duper interested in the story, and even once things started to escalate a little bit, I thought that the pacing of the escalation portion was a little bit slow for my taste, but I did think it had a really impactful and interesting ending to it. So I'm not sure if I want to give it a 3.5 or if I want to give it a 4, because the writing really was beautiful. Like, this woman really knows how to write a good book, just like her character. She has a way with words. But is that enough? Because I felt like I kind of had trouble sinking into the story. And I feel like after that first day at the cafe, I never really felt like sitting down and just reading this for like an hour straight. Is a book I didn't really have any trouble putting down. So I might sit on it for a day or so to kind of see how I'm feeling. Sometimes when you read the ending of a book and it's just so like perfect, then it kind of skews your rating a little bit, but sometimes you just need to step back a little bit. Someone's sawing something. Sorry, outside, lots of noises, beautiful weather, all that jazz. But yeah, sometimes you just need to step back and kind of get a better idea of how you feel about the whole book and not just like the ending of it. So I will maybe let you know in a day or two when I wrap up this vlog what my final rating for this is going to be. Other than that, I am about to go in and bake some muffins. We will see how they turn out because I need to make some changes to the recipe because of my dairy intolerance, unfortunately. So fingers crossed those turn out good, and then I will probably just clean up the house a little bit before we head out to pick up my mom from the airport. So yay. I will talk to you guys later.
The view, she could see her building. Try to tell her I know I feel it. Keep me floating, I'm on my back. Slow me down when I'm living fast. You make me wanna be with somebody, doing things that I usually don't. Find my way through the hotel lobby, make the same when I'm on.
These are the most hideous muffins I have ever seen in my entire life. Good thing my mother loves me. I don't know if I filled them up too much or what, or maybe it was the substitutes I made. I have no idea, but hopefully they at least taste good. Oh my god, they're so ugly. This is why I prefer to cook instead of baking. Baking is clearly not my strong suit. All right, so I was posting on my Instagram about the fact that my muffins look like crap, and I realized I didn't put blueberries in my blueberry Earl Grey muffins. So yeah, I just forgot one of the main ingredients, so now they're just Earl Grey muffins. This baking is just not for me. We're just gonna stick with the box goods or go to a bakery because this is embarrassing, honestly. Yeah. A little doughy, a little lacking in flavor. Could benefit from some blueberries. Oh my gosh. Well, they're not terrible. They don't taste disgusting, so we'll eat them. Or I'll eat them all by myself if no one else wants them. No food will go to waste here. Alright guys, so it is Friday afternoon. Once again, breezy, water, wind chimes. Hope you can hear me. It is beautiful outside. I've been sitting outside doing some reading, and I wanted to give you an update on Beautiful Boy. As you can see, I kind of tabbed out how much I need to read each day to finish it by the 25th, I believe, which is when I want it done by. So I went ahead and read my 30 pages today, and I'm on page 155 now. I am continuing to enjoy this book. I feel like I'm learning a lot through it. And while there was a part of me that always knew some of this stuff about drugs, like I never really blamed drug addicts for their drug addiction. I knew how powerful addictions can be, and I have always seen it as a disease rather than a personal flaw. I think that this is just solidifying that point of view and really proving to me that that is the reality of the situation. And I think that the story is a really good balance of being informative and also really diving into the personal experience of this family, so it doesn't feel like you're getting a bunch of information dumped onto you. It feels more naturally provided through storytelling. So I am continuing to really enjoy this book, but since it's so difficult, I definitely can't read too much of it in one go because it's doom and gloom right now. Things are not going so well. We're kind of in the process where they're trying to do the rehab route to see if it works. He was kind of talking about calling different rehabs to see kind of like, hey, what's your success rate? And some of them said, oh, you know, it's like 25%, and some said up to 75%. But then he called someone and they're like, honestly, if they give you something in the double digits, they're straight up lying to you. So it seems like when it comes to meth, because that unfortunately is what his son is on right now, it has a very low success rate. Meth is incredibly addictive, and it like changes the way that your brain functions. So very scary to learn about that, but definitely think that this is probably a book most people should read, whether they're parents or if they're young and potentially in a position where they may be trying drugs, or in a position where they are introduced a lot to drugs in hopes that it steers them away from that life, because it's not a good life. Okay, it's not a good life whatsoever. So that is that on that. Now the next physical read that I'm going to be starting is going to be for my book club, or not my book club, but Bailey's book club from Is Bailey Reading, and I will of course have her channel listed down below. This book club, there should be a live show on the 28th. I don't know what time yet. We haven't decided on that yet, but I wanted to go ahead and get started on this so that I can, you know, take notes and whatnot. And that is going to be The Spirit Bears Its Teeth by Andrew Joseph White. And this is an author that I have read before and quite enjoyed their work. This is a historical YA horror, kind of with paranormal aspects to it. We are following a young trans boy who has violet eyes, which means that he can see the dead, and he doesn't really like to have this ability. One day he tries to run away from home because he is being forced into an arranged marriage, and he's not interested in that for obvious reasons. And his family sent him to this kind of sanatorium boarding school for misbehaved or sick girls, and when he arrives there, he starts to see the spirits of some of the girls there that are informing him that they have been killed while at this facility. And I was reading the author's note at the beginning, and I want to go ahead and read it to you just so you have a slight idea of what you would be getting into when reading this book, because it does include the list of trigger warnings. Plus I just thought that the letter was well written. I already read it a couple times because I was like, oh, I really like the way this was written. But yes, just so you know, the trigger warnings going into this, even though it is a YA story, it is horror based. So, letter from the author. One of the cruel injustices of the world is that survival hurts sometimes. Open heart surgery, for example, looks a lot like murder. Amputation before the advent of proper anesthesia was just a bone saw and a rag to bite. On that note, I will make this clear. The Spirit Bears Its Teeth contains transphobia, ableism, graphic violence, sexual assault, discussions of forced pregnancy and miscarriage, mentions of suicidal ideation, and extensive medical gore. But I will also make it clear that this book is not a necessary procedure. You don't have to endure it. You can get off the operating table and walk away at any time. I won't blame you. For those still reading, do you have a rag to bite? I want to make note of some context. Ghosts and mediums and alternate history aside, The Spirit Bears Its Teeth was inspired by Victorian England's sordid history of labeling certain people ill or other to justify cruelty against them. Threats of violence enforced strict social norms, often targeting women, queer and disabled people, and other marginalized folks. I've included another note about these realities at the end of the book, including some that this book does not cover. True history is often much more heartbreaking than any horror novel can depict. So if nothing else, I hope this story means something to you. I hope the scalpel is kind to you. I hope your sutures heal clean. You deserve that much. We all do. So just to give you a little insight into the author's writing, I really do enjoy the writing, and just a peek at how horrifying this book might be. So reading it side by side with Beautiful Boy is going to be a rough few days. I did not have a lot of happy books on my TBR, but hopefully this does have some queer joy in it that will kind of break up all of the horror aspects of it. But I'm gonna go ahead and dive into that a little bit. My sister is coming down today. Yesterday we went ahead and picked up my mom from the airport. She's home, she's safe, we're all together again, and my sister will be down probably in the next hour or so, and then we'll probably be spending a lot of time doing family stuff. I know there hasn't been too much B-roll, but I've just been kind of busy doing non-interesting things, cleaning and getting prepared and all that jazz, and I'm not sure what we'll be doing the next few days. I think the weather's supposed to be nice today and hopefully tomorrow as well, so maybe we'll go out a little, but yeah, that is what's going on. Hopefully I'll have some time to read, and I will of course keep you up to date on all of that. So I will talk to you later. Alright guys, so it is still a Friday, but I am 50 pages into this book, so I want to go ahead and give you my initial thoughts. I'm on chapter 5 of it, and I am definitely enjoying it so far. The story has definitely gripped me from the very beginning. Our character's name is Silas, and they are 16 years old, and as I mentioned, they have violet eyes, which allows them to see spirits. Initially, when I started this book, I thought that only those that were biologically female had violent eyes, but it seems that violent eyes are for both women and men. However, men are the only ones that are allowed to interact with the dead because women are too weak and frail and blah blah blah, all that BS. And if a woman does this, actually she could be imprisoned for life or actually killed for doing so. Right, I'm walking now, sorry. My mom came outside and I'm still too shy to do updates in front of people, so I'm just gonna walk around the yard while I do it. What was I saying? So we have Silas, 16 years old, and the royal, I just looked up the name because I was like, I need to look up the name, and I found something about the Royal Speakers, Royal Society of Speakers or something, are the ones that go ahead and kind of control who can use their abilities and who can't. Our character has kind of dressed up as a boy and is hoping to sneak into that society and get the brand that'll open a lot of doors for them, and then they will kind of run away because at the age of 16 their parents are trying to marry them off, which is technically below the legal age limit. However, the society is very antiquated, as they say, so they still do like bride bids or something, you know, where you pay for a bride. They still do executions, and they still do child marriages. And obviously our character wants to get away from that situation. Unfortunately, part of the trial that they have to go to get the seal is to open the veil and allow them to suffocate a woman who has been using their violet eyes illegally, and our character can't go through that and reveals who they are. And after all of this happens, they're kind of waiting for the police because obviously our character's done something illegal, and the father of the man that our character's parents were hoping to marry her off to was like, hey, I can make this all go away if you sign her up, because that's the term they use. So sign our character up to go to this boarding school and sign the marriage certificate. So pretty much our character would be married to this young boy, and then they will be shipped off to this boarding school for women who suffer from like violet-eyed illness, which is obviously not a real thing. It's just women who are misbehaving, because they mentioned that, oh, it's become more common over the years, and clearly it's just that women are looking to kind of break from their bonds and everything. You can see Loki back there, and the society is doing what they can to stop women from doing this by sending them to this boarding school where they get broken down into the perfect wife, or as we will find out per synopsis, they get killed. So our character is not excited to be going here. Son of this father who has offered to pay for her tuition to go to the school seems to be opposed to the idea of our character going there. And I don't remember if this book has any sort of romance in it, if there will be a romance between our two characters, or if he's just a decent person, better than, you know, his father and all the other men in the society. But I guess we will see. I've really been enjoying the pace of the story. I really quickly powered through these first 50 pages, or, you know, quick by my standards as a slow reader, and enjoyed the writing and enjoyed our character. This character is autistic, and that's very obvious, and the behaviors that they display, I think the author does a good job of showing autistic behavior. They had a side character in our other book that was also autistic. Well, side character, semi-side character, we sometimes saw from his point of view as well. But yeah, you can definitely see that through our character, that they have autism and are trying very hard to act normal, as all their tutors have been attempting to force them to act as. So really enjoying this book so far, and I'm looking forward to continue reading it. I will probably later tonight post on the Discord my initial thoughts on it. And yeah, that is my update for now, and I will check in with you later.
I'm getting that.
right, update time. It is Saturday evening. It is almost 6 o'clock. Today we were kind of out and about downtown. The weather started out gorgeous. I was like out in a t-shirt. I was too hot to sit in the sun. It was comfortable in the shade and everything. And then like as soon as we got downtown, it was like really windy and it was still bearable, but then eventually it started to get rainy as well. So I was like, this is some wacky weather right here. But I have gone ahead and read my 30 pages of Beautiful Boy today. Once again, it is making me tear up. It is just really difficult to read this book. Right now, we are following a lot of kind of group therapy and individual therapy where our narrator is going both to like rehab facilities to do therapy, like group therapy with his son and his wife and all the other people at the facility, but he and his wife are also going to therapy sessions that are just for family members or partners of those who are going through drug addiction, because obviously this really impacts them as well. And just hearing the stories of all the other people who are struggling with what our narrator is struggling with, and just kind of once again just going through that roller coaster ride with his son of being sober and being excited for life and college and making all these plans and being really optimistic, and then turning around and falling into drugs again, and him just getting better about hiding it, and our narrator just trying to hold on to hope, but really that hope is starting to slip away as his son just falls back into those same patterns again and again and kind of just disappears, and him pacing around the house just wishing that he knew where his son was. Like, is he alive? Is he okay? Is he out on the streets somewhere? And when he was at one of these group meetings for people who have family members who are going through addiction, some of the parents were like, my child going to jail was one of the best things that ever happened, because now I know where they are and I know they're alive and I know that they're okay as someone could be in jail. But just to think how much fear these people feel about their kids, to be relieved when their child is like confined to jail, is very shocking to read. So still enjoying this book and not enjoying this book, but glad that I am reading it. I asked my sister if she watched the movie because she used to be a Timothée Chalamet fan and he is the son in the movie, and she said that she did and it was really sad and she cried a lot. So I will probably at some point watch the movie as well, which will probably be a very hard thing to do, but we're gonna do it. As far as my audiobook goes, I'm 89% through it. I think I listened to like a couple chapters of this book. I just feel like it's too in your face. I think I mentioned before, it's a little cheesy. It's kind of like, oh, you guys are rich kids and it makes me mad that rich kids get away with more than poor people. I just feel like our villain has a very basic cause driving him to do all of these terrible things, and so it's just really not doing too much for me, but I will go ahead and finish it. We will see how it ends. And that is all I have to say on that for now. I have gone ahead and started reading The Spirit Bares Its Teeth again. I'm on page 74. I'll do a bit more reading tonight, most likely, but I continue to enjoy this story. Silas, her character, has just now gotten to the boarding school for ill violet-eyed women, and I think one of the things I really enjoyed about Andrew Joseph White's other book as well, that they are doing again in this book, when it comes to the way that our trans character views their body, they feel like they are comfortable with the way that their body is, that they have a what is considered biologically female body, despite them seeing themselves as male. They don't really want to change their body or specifically be in a male body, but the way that other people perceive them, that is what they are hyper aware of, and that is what they're uncomfortable with. So that is, once again, I'm assuming, going to be a focus in this story, and I did like that in his Hell Followed With Us. So I'm glad that he's doing that again, because a lot of times when you talk about the trans experience, you talk about changes they want to make to their body, and while our character does want to make some changes to their body, specifically a hysterectomy, but that is primarily because they are being put in a position where they would be forced to bear children. So it's very understandable that they would want to get rid of that part of their body so that they cannot be forced to carry a child. Definitely a very uncomfortable book to read so far, and I honestly wish that I was reading something kind of like happier. Maybe once I finish this audiobook, I'll read a happier audiobook or something, because a girl needs a break from all this doom and gloom. But the writing continues to be good, and I am intrigued to see where this story goes, but I've only read like 20 pages or so since I last checked in with you, so I don't have too much more to say. But that is just a quick update for now. I'm gonna go back and maybe do a little bit more reading, and it is very doom and gloom outside, and I feel like it's making me very tired, so this video is a little low energy, but I think everyone in my house is kind of like snoozing, so I think just like this weather has really brought the sleepiness out in all of us. But I will go ahead and check in with you tomorrow, possibly for the final time to wrap up this vlog.
So far away. Last night was one big holiday. Cool winds on me out by the shade. Put my weekend on layaway. I don't know where I'm going. 2 days, one big commotion. I'm being carried by the wake. Soothing motion, please help me take the pain away. No way to change our yesterday. No way to change our yesterday.
Alright guys, so it is a Sunday evening and I'm here to wrap up this vlog. It is a little past 9:30, so definitely past my bedtime, but I remembered I didn't wrap up this vlog yet. So I'm just gonna give you my final thoughts on the books that I have been reading, and then I just kind of want to let you know how I've been doing on my Orilium prompts, because I haven't really done like an Orilium wrap up or anything at the end of any of my other vlogs, so I figured we're almost at the end. We'll see how close we are. Today I did finish my audiobook of There's No Way I'd Die First, and I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. Most of the thoughts that I had on it initially still kind of stand, where it just seems to lack some subtlety, where it's very in your face with what the villain is trying to say and trying to prove, and it also required me to suspend my disbelief a little bit too much, and I felt a little bit cheesy. But at the end of the day, I had a decent time with it, and I did like the main character and the way that she stood up to the villain. She was a bit sassy, and I did like the fact that she was relatively smart about the decisions she was trying to make. This wasn't really one of those thriller books where you're like, oh my god, why are you making all these dumb decisions and whatnot. So I did have a decent time with it, and I think for a debut it's not too terrible, so I felt a 3.5 was a good place to land with that. Now, that book did not apply to any prompts for Orilium. That was just for my personal TBR game. In fact, it was my punishment prompt to read the book that is one of the lowest rated on my TBR. It was the third lowest rated book on my TBR, but I still think that it's worth checking out if you're looking for just a fun YA slasher to get into. Then today I did read my 30 pages of A Beautiful Boy. This book continues to be very difficult to read. This chapter was very hard because we are really starting to see the pattern of rehab and sobriety and then relapse. So it's very difficult to read, especially since Nick had achieved like 1 year of sobriety, and oftentimes you kind of think like, if you can do a year, you can do 2, you can do 3, but you know, sometimes even if you meet that huge milestone, you still falter, and that is unfortunately what is happening to him right now. But I'm continuing to really enjoy the reading experience, even though saying I enjoy it is, I'm not enjoying it, but it's still really well written and very educational and very emotional. So you're taking all of these facts that he's throwing at you and you're really grounding it in the story that'll really stick with you. So really enjoying how this is written. But yeah, it really puts you in your feels. This book I should go ahead and finish in next week's vlog, so that'll be really exciting considering it'll be the first nonfiction book that I finished this year, which, considering I want to read 6 nonfiction this year and I'm just now finishing my first at the end of April, is not a good track to be on, but we're doing what we can. And then the last book we have is The Spirit Bears Its Teeth, and I am here on page 156, and I am continuing to enjoy this. This book continues to make me feel really uncomfortable. I'm gonna be honest. I'm reading 2 books that are not putting me in a good headspace, but that's just the way it is sometimes. But I am really enjoying the writing. I'm really enjoying the autism representation in here. The author does not shy away from telling you how someone with autism thinks and how they act and how the other people perceive them. So I am enjoying that aspect of the story quite a bit, and we have gotten to the point where the spirits have reached out to Silas, and Silas is starting to kind of see if they can gather more information about what is going on in the school and who knows what exactly. So things are getting intense, and I'm very intrigued to see where it goes and who's a bad guy, who can be trusted, who can't be trusted. And I'm really excited to go ahead and do a live show for this. This will also obviously be finished next week in next week's vlog, because I will be doing a live show on the 28th with Bailey, and I'm really looking forward to discussing this book with everyone. So yay. So let's take a look at my laptop here. So I'm going to be looking down a little bit, but we're not doing that great. I'm going to be honest. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 prompts that I needed to complete, and I have completed 3. I've completed 3 so far. So I finished animal studies by finishing Project Hail Mary, and that was to read a book with a yellow title. And I finished Inscription by finishing the Invocations, which was to write down 3 titles, fold them, and then randomly pick one. And then I finished Restorations by reading The Cult of Personality, Volume 7, which is a book you think could cure a slump. Then as far as what I'm currently reading and what it applies to, for Beautiful Boy, this is for Demonology, which is for a book that I did not purchase. This is a library book, so I will have Demonology completed by next week. And then for The Spirit Bares Its Teeth, this is for Alchemy, which is to have circles on the cover because of the eyeballs. So I'll also have Alchemy completed. And then my next audiobook that you'll see me reading next week is going to be The Forest, what's it called? Forest of 8,000 Lanterns by Julia C. Dow, and that is for shape shifting. So I don't think that audiobook is too long. It's a YA story, a YA fantasy story, I believe East Asian inspired. So hopefully I'll have those 3 prompts, and then I'll have just to reread The Legend of Daya, which I think is just 1 page. I really just need to like sit down and read that. It'll probably take me like less than 5 minutes, and then I'll have 3 more books. But as I mentioned in my TBR, I don't confine myself to April to complete these, just because I do take 2 careers. So if I move a little bit into May with that, that is totally fine. So we should definitely be looking a lot better by the end of next week than we are currently. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I think we made some good progress in our books. All right, I don't know what I was just saying because my sister just came to say goodbye. She's heading back up to Seattle because she came down this weekend. But yes, thank you so much for watching this vlog. I had a decent time this week. I think it's been kind of a stressful week, and I've been reading kind of stressful books. So I think next month when I make my May TBR, I'm really gonna have to focus on some lighthearted reads. That's really what I need. But as always, guys, thank you so much for supporting my channel by watching my videos, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.